Real thoughts, real trades, real journey. A video journal documenting the lessons learned on my journey to becoming a disciplined trader. Welcome to Trading the Journey. I'm Neil, and today I want to share a trading day that taught me one important lesson. Let's see what the market had to teach me. Well, I have to say psychologically, I was in a pretty good place. I had some pretty good confidence. I was patient. I'm once again working on my patience and making sure I play my plays. Because the other day I didn't play my play, but I still, won a good trade. But today I did play my plays. I had one winner, one loser. It didn't hit me psychologically. It was just a little bit disappointment, but overall it was a pretty good day. So it wasn't as bad as what I thought. I was patient, kept my head in the game, didn't let it get to me, and came away with a pretty good day overall regardless. There was a lot of, slow grind in the overnight, a pullback, and then a grind back up during the pre-market. And then overall, I thought the day was going to be bullish, and it ended up being a down day. Still following the overall daily pattern, as far as the action goes and what it's doing. So it's falling in line on a much tighter time frame. But I thought it was going to be a bull day, and it turned out to be a bear day. So the Bears won the day. So we'll see what happens today. But let's talk about these trades here. So I went with my bias, and I took a pretty good fence trade to the upside here. I went long with it. There was this, but there were kind of signs on the wall that this may not work out. Not that I ignored them in any way. I didn't, but overall, I mean, they were kind of there. So there was this big bearish engulfing candle. It didn't take out the high of the day at that time. So it didn't quite, scare me off as to go long. Had I tried to go short, obviously it would have been a loss. But I didn't, because it was kind of an abnormal move, rejected off the 20 SMA and went back up. So let me actually just reset this real. Oh no. Yeah, I kind of moved this a little bit. Give me 1 second. I'll just reset this real quick and lock it into place so I don't move it. All right, there we go. So, yeah. So as soon as this move happened, I put my stop here, and then there was this long candle. And I did click on it a couple of seconds before the candle closed, so I got in a really good price. And you saw this, there was a lot of a nice movement right when I clicked buy. So I got in a really good price and had my stop in. So I was looking for a nice big move, and when this happened, this bear candle took out the high of the day. It was a pretty sizable candle. That was pretty much the writing on the wall that this may be reversing. So a couple candles later, the bulls failed to reclaim the high of the day, and then there's this bearish engulfing candle, and that was pretty much it. This candle is what stopped me out. And then we had another pullback, and then this is where it started really turning over. So I waited and I waited, for it to show itself, to show me what I can get in on. Had this minor pullback to the 20 SMA, and then we had a power bar move, a 2-bar power bar move. So I put my stop above the candle, which is above this candle right here. which is above the 20 SMA, which I thought was more logical than putting it on the candle that I entered it in. And turns out, yeah, I was right in putting my stop there, because if I had put my stop here on the candle that I entered it in, where I probably normally would put it, I would have gotten stopped out on that candle. Which would have been fine, because then there was this nice move downward here. Another 2-bar power bar play, which continued, as you can tell, probably would have been a winner on the way down. So there were plenty of plays to get in on. Here's another one, so it just, as you can see, it just kept going, and it went even further down. So all in all, the lesson really is just keep your head in the game. Don't lose your cool, and just think, because you never know what's going to happen. The market can be funny at times. It's an auction, and you just have to keep your head level. And I'm glad I did. Overall, the day was just $9 down after this win. I decided to just stop for the day, because I was in kind of an excitement mode there a little bit. Oh boy, did I win. But I decided to shut it down for the day. And as you can tell, of course, on this power bar play, so just to kind of walk you through the trade a little bit, I entered in, and it came down, closed below my 1-to-1, so I moved the break even. Just a couple is just a tick or two above break even, just enough to cover commissions this time. So I decided to really strengthen that rule a little bit on where to move the stop. And so it made a move, pulled back a little bit, it made a move, closed past my 1.5 right here, right? And I decided to this candle wasn't close enough. This candle pushed over. And so I moved my stop by, once again, 2 ticks actually. 2 ticks past my 1-to-1. And that gave me, and that would have, and that covered commission plus give me my 1-to-1. And as you can tell, it pulled back and it stopped me out. But it never crossed the 20 SMA. And as you can see here, it moved past my 2R. Interesting move. Could I have trailed my stop with the 20 SMA? Sure, and I would have won the trade. But I don't think I had enough enough data or confidence to do that yet. Down the road, I may actually do that, because sometimes these moves like this kind of run a little bit. Same thing over here where this move happened. It could have used the 20 SMA and would have won and probably made a little bit more. So you never know. But for right now, the rule is, of course, once it closes past 1-to-1, move my stop up the break even plus commission. Past 1.5, move it up to 1-to-1, protect that 1R. And then there's move it to 2, and then take the win at 2. So maybe with enough data, I could keep that break even there at where I entered in. We'll see what happens. As we do more trades, as I collect more data, we'll see what happens. And just move on to the next day. Thank you for joining me for today's lesson. The market has voted. Today's lesson is written. I hope something from today's trade helps you on your own journey toward becoming a more disciplined trader. If today's trade reminded you of something you've experienced yourself, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed today's journal entry, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button on the video and subscribe to follow the journey. Until next time, real thoughts, real trades, real journey.